have to make a point of observation about the difference between Yuri Bukhenik in the Karen Reed case and Yuri Bukhenik in the Brian Walshe case. You must follow the law. The law says...
Glorious. Is it a lawsuit? Probably. Why not?
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up. It's the Law with Attorney Larry Forman. Folks, today we're going to continue with the case of Brian Walshe, the alleged murder of his wife, Anna Walshe. This is one of those no body, we don't know if there is a murder. All signs are pointing to it. The evidence shows it. If you have not seen my previous videos, I have made at least 2, I think, at this point, at the premiere of this video. If you're watching this in the future, then I have an entire series with Officer Schmidt, Officer Lawrence, Sergeant Bukhenik, which is what we're going to do today. Sergeant Bukhenik is going to take the witness stand in the hearing on a motion to suppress evidence by Mr. Walsh's attorney. So, without further ado, let's see what Bukhenik has to say. And by the way, let me just say, there are going to be 3 videos we're going to do on Bukhenik because his testimony was a little bit lengthy, so I decided to break it up into pieces. And over the next 3 days, you will hear Bukhenik testify about what he has done in his investigation in Brian Walsh's case. And you may remember Sergeant Bukaki from the Karen Reed case. So without further ado, let's go.
My name is Yuri Bukhenik.
Where do you work, sir?
I work for the Massachusetts State Police, currently assigned to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office.
How long have you been with Massachusetts State Police?
I graduated the academy March of 2012.
And once again, we begin with the direct examination of Yuri Bukhenik by the prosecutor.
And how long have you been attached to the detectives unit with the District Attorney's Office?
10 years.
And what is your current rank?
I'm a sergeant.
And how long have you been a sergeant within that unit?
Since December of 2021.
So I'm going to ask you some questions now about January 5th of 2023, Thursday. That day, did you have the opportunity to be dispatched to Cohasset?
Yes.
Why were you dispatched to Cohasset?
Cohasset police detectives reached out to our office requesting assistance in investigating a missing person case.
What was the name of the person you were searching that you were asked to help find?
The person's name was Anna Walshe.
About what time did you get to Cohasset PD that day?
It was in the late afternoon, I would say approximately 4:45 or so.
And did anyone else besides you, that's a member of the State Police Detectives Unit with the Norfolk District Attorney's Office, respond to Cohasset that evening?
Yes.
Who else?
Trooper DeChico.
And once Trooper DeChico and you were at the Cohasset PD, who did you have the opportunity to speak with?
I spoke with Detective Harrison Schmidt of Cohasset PD.
He's next.
And what was the purpose of this meeting with Detective Schmidt?
He gave us an update on his investigation into the missing person, shared the details of that he's learned since he was involved.
Did you have the opportunity to review anything in addition to having the conversation with Detective Schmidt?
Yes. I was able to review an audio recording of Brian Walsh's interview.
And after having this meeting and reviewing the recording, what did you have the opportunity to do next in your investigation?
After doing the review of the recording and being updated on all the information that Cohasset PD had at the time, myself, Trooper DeChico, Detective Schmidt, Detective Lieutenant Lopes, and Sergeant Hunt proceeded to 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway in Cohasset.
About what time did all of you arrive at that address?
I believe it was like 6:30 p.m.
And when you arrived, was anyone leaving?
Yes, there was a female party leaving as we came up to the door.
And do you understand what her relationship was to the family?
I do know, yes.
What is it?
She was the babysitter for the 3 juvenile children.
After seeing this woman leave the residence, did you discover who else was in the residence at this time?
Yes.
Who?
Within the residence, we were able to meet with Brian Walshe, his mother, Diana Walshe, and there was 3 juvenile children inside as well.
Now, in that evening, did you have the opportunity to conduct an interview with anyone at the Walshe residence?
Yes, I did.
Who did you initially get the chance to speak with?
Initially, I spoke with Diana Walshe.
And Diana Walshe is Mr. Brian Walsh's mother, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Where was your conversation with Diana Walshe?
My conversation was in the living room area where the couches were situated. There's also a fireplace there. It is right off the kitchen area, separating the dining room area by a staircase set in the wall, I believe.
And was there anyone with you to help conduct this interview?
Yes,
By the
Detective
way,
Lieutenant.
I have to make a point of observation about the difference between Yuri Bukhenik in the Karen Reed case and Yuri Bukhenik in the Brian Walshe case. You may remember when Bukaki testified in the Karen Reed case, he was just staring at the defense attorney or the prosecutor, whoever was asking him questions. There was very little, eye movement because, well, he was lying through his teeth, as we all know. Here, this is an innocuous, relatively speaking, investigation. You can see his eyes just kind of darting. He's accessing memories. We get to see a completely different Yuri Bukhenik because here he is accessing memories instead of fabricating lies as he did in the Karen Reed case. When he's accessing memories, we can clearly see he's taking himself back. He's like, okay, so there was a room and there were some couches and he sees them in his mind's eye. That's why his eyes are kind of like, going this way. When he's just staring, doing that cold stare, those are not memories. Those are lies. Those are fabrications. That's why he's looking straight ahead. But when he's accessing memories, we now have his telltale sign. He kind of goes, oh, yeah, and then there were couches, and then there were these minor children, and you can see he's a lot more comfortable. I mean, granted, this is the prosecution's direct examination, so obviously he's going to be more comfortable. We'll see if that changes on cross. But I am seeing I don't know about you, but I am seeing a completely different Yuri Bukhenik. This is a Yuri that's just yeah, I was there, and we did an interview, and there were some couches, and, he's just telling a story, whereas in the Karen Reed case, he was fabricating all those lies. See the difference? Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Have you or someone you love been injured as a result of someone else's negligence? Or worse, lost a loved one because of it? I am attorney Larry Forman, and myself and my team of trial lawyers are ready to help you to get the absolute maximum compensation permissible under the law. We know the system. We understand how to win. Anywhere in the United States, 24 hours a day. 1-844-774-HURT. Call us. We can help.
Ed Lopes of Cohasset PD was present with me.
Where were the other officers at this point in time that arrived with you?
The other officers were speaking with Brian Walshe in the dining room area portion of the home.
Was anyone else with Mr. Walshe besides those officers, as you know?
Just the three officers that arrived.
Where were the children when you initially had the opportunity to speak with Diana Walshe?
Upon her request, the children went upstairs in the main portion of the home to the second floor.
Can you explain how the initial conversation, what occurred during your initial conversation with the defendant's mother?
Yes. As we sat down, Diana was asked to provide her date of birth and the phone number. She initially ignored my request and was texting on her phone. Follow-up request was also momentarily not addressed or not answered. She then advised us that she had utmost respect for what we do, but she only has one son, and she was very adamant in helping find Anna.
Did she say what she was doing as far as trying to find Anna?
Yes, she stated that she had Googled, researched a top PI firm, private investigation firm in the D.C. area, and she had been communicating with the owner/CEO of the company.
And did she give you any contact information for that person?
Yes, she provided both a business line and a private cell phone number for the individual.
Now, did she have the opportunity during this conversation, did she tell you what had occurred with her son's cell phone as far as January 1 and January 2nd?
Yes, during this conversation, she advised us that on January 2nd, Brian Walshe showed up at her home in Swampscott and advised her.
He just keeps doing it. He's looking down, he's accessing memories, then he's remembering, okay, and then this happened, and then that's what she said. Completely different Yuri. Unbelievable.
That his phone was missing.
Incredible.
And that he needed to use her device to communicate.
When I say incredible, what I mean is now we have data. We actually have data points because you can't assess a person's character, personality, level of deception if you don't have multiple data points. You have to put them in different scenarios, and you have to assess individually in each scenario how they behave, right? Something that the FBI does and trains their agents to do when they have to interview, different people, or the same people in different circumstances, I should say. So what's fascinating about this scenario is that we now get to see what Yuri looks like when he's telling the truth. And that is sick and depressing, but also fascinating. You see what I'm saying?
Or try to reach Anna.
Did she show you anything from her phone during this part of the conversation?
Yes, she showed me her call logs as well as text message communications that were documented on her device.
And when you saw this, did you see the names of any of, not asking the specific name, but did you see the names of anyone in the family?
Yes, there was a name associated with a juvenile child, the eldest, that was documented as a missed call.
And did you ask her about whose phone number that would be?
Yes, I did.
And what did she explain to you?
She indicated it was the 6-year-old's phone number as saved with the name in her device, and that she had purchased all the three of the juvenile children, cell phones, Apple AirTags, and iPads.
And also, can somebody please explain to me, why does he keep referring to them as juvenile children? Either call them juveniles, call them children, call them minor children, but juvenile children just, I don't know, it just doesn't have a appropriate ring to it, just, semantically speaking. I just don't understand why that language. But okay, Yuri, you're the boss.
How long were you speaking with Diana Walshe before any of the children returned?
I would estimate it 15 minutes or so.
And which child did you wish to speak to?
The oldest 6-year-old child.
And was that one of the children that returned at this point in time?
Yes, it was.
And did you have the opportunity to speak to the oldest child?
Yes, I did.
Can you explain to us what occurred as far as that conversation?
Initially, when the child presented to our presence, myself and Detective Lieutenant Lopes, asked him if he was willing to have us ask him some questions. He shook his head in the affirmative without giving me a verbal response. Diana, at that point, asked him to sit on her lap while we held the conversation, and we proceeded to ask him some questions.
And what did the oldest child tell you about about what he remembers as the last time he saw his mother, Anna Walshe?
What the child stated was that the last time he saw his mother was surrounded around the events of him hearing a noise, waking up, coming downstairs, and seeing her on the couch underneath his blanket, which he left in the room overnight. She was dressed in a set of pink pajamas with red hearts. And as he was walking by the kitchen island, he saw his iPad. He picked up the iPad, recognized that it was malfunctioning or broken, not working properly, and he requested that his mom, Anna, fix the iPad for him. Once she fixed the iPad, he indicated that Anna went upstairs and changed into her real clothes, returning back downstairs, holding a brown duffel bag approximately 2 feet in length and a purse which he gestured to her wearing on her shoulder. He then stated that her taxi was here. He told her, "I love you." She responded, "I love you more." And she walked out the door to her ride. When asked if he saw the vehicle, saw the headlights for the vehicle, or saw her get into the vehicle, he stated he did not. Those are strictly his speculations. Obviously, he didn't use the word speculation, but.
And how did the conversation end with the oldest child?
I had a question for him asking, does he know where his mom? Before I was able to finish that question, Diana became animated with her arms since he was sitting on her lap, flailing her arms in the air. I stopped abruptly, being interrupted by her gesture, She finished the question for me, stating cell phone. The child never answered my intended question, which was if he knew where his mom was, nor the question that Diana finished. He strictly said that mom wanted him to move to D.C. to be with her. He abruptly got up off of Diana's lap and ran into a different portion of the home.
And did you have any further conversation with the oldest child?
Yes, I did.
And what was that, sir?
At one point, a little bit later on.
I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Those poor children who have to grow up without a mother now. Oh.
He returned to the area where myself and Detective Lopes was standing. He opened the door slightly, just wide enough to the basement that he could fit through. He took a step onto the first step going down into the basement, looked back at me, extended his arm, and I told him that he shouldn't go into the basement on his own, realizing there were child locks on the door. Then Diana also opened the door all the way and grabbed his hand and told him not to go down there.
Did any of the children ever give you anything that night?
Yes.
What did they give you?
The eldest 6-year-old boy gave me a little art piece that he rendered.
Now, how...
That is such cop speak. He gave me a little art piece that he rendered. He gave me a drawing that he made, maybe? It's so detective-like.
How long were you in the home speaking to the oldest child and Diana Walshe?
I would estimate it to be 45 minutes, maybe more. It was a lengthy conversation in our presence in the home.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is still
Sergeant,
direct.
we left off, I believe, the conversation had come to an end with Diana Walshe and the oldest child. What did you do at the house after that?
I waited for the other officers to finish searching the home for the missing individual, to include the attic.
Why was the attic significant to you?
It had not been searched, and in my experience with other cases, we have had located individuals in crawl spaces and attics.
What types of cases are those, sir?
Death investigations.
And more specific, though, when you found people in crawl spaces like that, have they been as a result of murder or how so?
They were suicides.
What did you do as far as examining the outside of the home?
I proceeded outside, checked the yard, the property, to include trash cans, looking for Anna's phone. One of the locations that myself, Detective Lieutenant Lopes, Detective Schmidt checked was Brian Walsh's Volvo SUV.
And did you ask anyone permission to check the Volvo?
Yes.
And who did you ask?
Brian Walsh.
And what did he say?
He complied, granted us permission, unlocked the vehicle, and we took a look through the contents of inside.
And what observations did you make of the Volvo?
I located a cell phone device inside the Volvo, located in the center console of the vehicle.
And did you have a conversation with Mr. Walsh about whose cell phone that was?
Yes, I asked him whose device that was, at which time he stated it was his oldest son's phone.
Did any of the police officers attempt to verify that?
Yes, Detective Lieutenant Lopes, having been provided with the phone number for that device, called the phone, and the phone rang, verifying that it is, in fact, the 6-year-old's phone.
And where did Detective Lopes get the phone number from?
Our conversation with Diana Walsh, when she showed us the call logs, the phone number was provided.
Do you remember what the phone number was for that device?
Not at the top of my head. I know that it most likely ended at 8028, possibly.
And did you write that anywhere in any of your reports?
Yes, I wrote it in my interview report.
Would that, looking at that report, refresh your recollection as to the number?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Sergeant, I'd ask if you could look at paragraph 9, look at it to yourself, and look up to me when you have an opportunity to review it. Does that refresh your recollection as to that phone number?
Yes, it does.
What was the phone number, sir?
617 895, I believe.
Oh, should I come back?
Yes, please.
All right, Sergeant. Take one more look. You know where it is. All right, now you want to give it a shot.
Yes, 617 895.
So
Yeah, we don't want to hear that.
that
full
phone,
number.
was it seized that night?
It was not, no,
Was it left in the? Where was it left then?
in the vehicle.
Now, this is Thursday, January 5th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, I'd like to, that night, besides looking in the Volvo, did you find anything else as far as cell phones that night?
No, I did not, no.
Okay. Now, I'd like to ask you now some questions about January 6th, Friday.
Yes, sir.
Did you have the opportunity to contact anyone who was representing Mr. Brian Walsh?
Yes, I did.
Who was that you were contacting?
I contacted attorney Tracy Minor.
And how did you, why were you contacting Tracy Minor?
I wanted to communicate with her and get consent for the devices that belong to Brian Walsh and his juvenile children that were being utilized.
And what was your understanding of Tracy Minor's relationship to Mr. Walsh?
My understanding was that Tracy Minor was representing Brian Walsh on a criminal matter out of federal court in Boston.
And when did you start communicating with Attorney Minor?
I began communicating with her in the afternoon hours of January 6th. It was during the 3 o'clock hour, I believe.
And how were you communicating with her?
Via cell phone call communications.
Do you know roughly how many phone calls you had with Attorney Minor?
I had numerous communications. To the best of my estimate, probably three phone calls.
And so what did you ask Attorney Minor in the first conversation, if you remember?
In the first conversation, I identified myself and asked her to provide consent for Brian Walsh's phones. At that point, I had knowledge of at least two devices, the one that was missing, that was located on the second, and then the 6-year-old cell phone.
Okay, so to be clear, you say the one that was missing that was located in the second, who did you believe that cell phone belonged to?
Brian Walsh.
And the second device, what was that device that you were concerned about?
That was a device that contacted Diana with a missed call on the call log, and it was also now present inside Brian Walsh's vehicle in the SUV.
What did you say to Attorney Minor that you wished to do to these devices?
I stated that we wish to do a full system extraction, phone dump, more commonly used as a phone, known as a phone dump, of those devices for digital evidence data.
And what reservations did Attorney Minor express to you in the first conversation?
She stated she needed to talk to her client, and she would call me back.
And did you explain anything else you were looking for at this point in time?
No, I did not.
So how long did it take for Attorney Minor to contact you back?
It was somewhere between 5-10 minutes, maybe a little more, maybe 15 minutes, but I did receive a call from her within a short period of time.
And what happened in this next phone call?
She stated that it would be fine to, they would consent to the extractions. They just wanted it documented, and she requested a documentation to be generated.
And was there any limitations on the digital? Was there any limitations on what you were allowed to look at?
Yes, it was communicated verbally in our agreement that we were not to look at attorney-client communications prior to December 25th, 2022, and no communications between Anna and Brian Walsh prior to that date as well.
Besides those two issues, was there anything else that you were not allowed to look at when you spoke to Attorney Minor?
No.
Did you tell Attorney, and so during this conversation, was there mention of any other devices you wish to look at?
Yes, after we made the agreement for the two cell phones mentioned, I also requested that the iPad, which we knew was manipulated by Anna prior to her leaving the home, would also be included within the devices that were consented to.
Did you explain why you wanted to look at that iPad?
I did not know.
Why did you want to look at that iPad?
Well, if Anna manipulated the device and fixed it during the time frame that we were advised, there would be a digital footprint on the device documented that manipulation.
And to be specific, what iPad are you referring to that Anna manipulated?
It was the iPad that the 6-year-old saw on the island as he came downstairs after hearing a noise and waking up. And he picked it up and had his mom fix for him. Why
was that footprint significant to you in your investigation into the disappearance of Anna Walshe?
It would have really narrowed down the timeline of when Anna left the home. It was in a short period of time after the device was manipulated that we were told Anna got dressed and left the home.
Had you had any access to that iPad before this conversation?
No.
And so when you were speaking to the oldest child, he never showed it to you or anything like that?
No, he did not.
Okay. Now, besides the two areas that you had agreed upon with Attorney Minor, which was attorney-client contact and anything before December 25th with the defendant and his wife, she asked for what?
A documentation of the agreement that we verbally discussed and agreed upon.
And what did you do to document the agreement?
Communications were had with Norfolk District Attorney, First Assistant Lynn Beelan, and she drafted an email including those specific restrictions of the full data extraction, digital evidence analysis in an email form and sent it to Attorney Minor and CC'd me on it as well.
What memory do you have of expressing these concerns to First Assistant Beeland at the time?
I do not have a memory of communicating with First Assistant Beeland.
So do you know how First Assistant Beeland knew to send the email?
I do not know.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
I think this is a good place to stop. So we're still in direct. We're going to continue the direct in the next video tomorrow of Yuri Bukhenik on the witness stand talking about the disappearance of Anna Walshe in the Brian Walshe murder case. Trial, as I've already mentioned in a couple videos ago, is set to begin, I believe, October 8th. And by the way, fun fact for you all, in case you were not aware, Yuri Bukhenik is officially on desk duty through like October 4th, as of about a month ago, I think, sometime in July. I remember sometime in July he was taken away from the field and put on desk duty, and desk duty concludes like 4 days before trial begins. And you cannot tell me that was not intentional, because absolutely it was. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.